Welcome everybody, Jim Thornton here, Special Applications Manager at Toromont. Welcome to Toromont's podcast. Today, what are we going to cover? Well, today we're going to cover fuel efficiency, not fuel savings tips. This is very different, maybe the next level up. Fuel efficiency, do you know what that is? Let's talk about that for a second. So in today's market, we're out there, we're bidding jobs, we're getting work, we hope. And you're really fighting to keep your owning and your operating costs as low as possible, right? You want to maximize your profit. But in today's world, just tracking fuel, because I know everybody's tracking fuel, Brian.
Everybody.
Absolutely. You know, well, I burned something today. You know what? To maintain a competitive advantage, you at least have to understand how much fuel you're burning and which piece it's going into. Not just the job site went through 10,000 liters today. So you got to understand where's that fuel going. But that's just not going to cut it. So in addition to knowing that, you have to know what you burn if you want to understand what you earn. So think about that for a second. That effectively is fuel efficiency. Fuel efficiency is the work you do with that fuel. Okay, let's think about it this way. I'm going to pick an easy example so everybody understands. You have a pickup truck driving up the 400 series highway. You know what? It's going to burn 12, maybe 13 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, let's throw a boat on the back and let's throw all the camping gear and the wife and the 3 kids in the truck. Is the truck going to burn more or less fuel? Well, we all know it's going to burn more fuel. But hang on, you still just drove up the 400 and you covered the same miles. What's different? Well, the amount of work, right? You're towing a boat and you're carrying all the camping gear, plus the family. So that is more work. That's what effectively we need to work this down to with our piece of equipment. So how do we do that? Let's look at this maybe in a heavy equipment context for a second. Let's take 2 loaders, okay? Understanding the machine application. And one burns 17 liters an hour, and one burns 26 liters an hour. Well, which one's a better deal, Brian? Which one are you buying?
I'm buying the 17 liter an hour. It's going to save me fuel.
There you go. How much work are you doing?
What's that got to do with anything?
Exactly. That's what we need to understand. How much work are you getting done? Maybe the one that's burning more fuel is doing a heck of a lot more work. And I would say probably is. You got to measure that. That's how we measure fuel efficiency. That's really the measure here. So how do you figure that out? Well, you can do it. Some simple ways in your job site, right? How many trucks did you move today? How many tons did you ship? How many tons did you move? Find some measure of work on your job site so you can figure out, hey, you know what? This excavator, this wheel loader, whatever it is you're using, or this truck, how come it's burning 10 liters an hour more than the other one? Is it a maintenance issue? Is there something wrong with it? Is there something else going on with that tractor? Maybe it should be in eco mode and it's not. There's a good comparison for you. If you're running some trucks, put one in eco, one not. You get the idea. Fuel efficiency is the measure of your profitability. That's what you need to care about. All right, another major contributor to fuel efficiency is the connection between the steering wheel and the seat.
I was going to say, thinking if you have 2 machines doing kind of the same job and they're burning different fuel rates, how much effect does the operator have?
The operator has a huge impact. Let's look at this in context of a cycle. So we know we have work to do, but let's say it's a fixed operation. We know, about a constant flow of trucks and they only need to work as hard as they need to load them up. Let's do this math for a second. If you did a 20-second cycle with an excavator versus a 30-second cycle with an excavator, that's about 60% difference in fuel. That's a huge number. Do you really need to go as fast as possible? Maybe not in your case. I want to make sure you make money and you're as productive as possible, but maybe you throttle it back a little bit and only do what's needed to burn only the fuel required to be as fuel efficient as possible. But you need to do that analysis for your operations and your business. So do that cost-benefit analysis. Managing idle time, that's pretty logical, right? If we look at all the equipment and you look at all the tools that's on a lot of the heavy equipment today, you have auto idle shutdown timers, but you have to change the behavior at the job sites. That's another one that's constantly overlooked. There's no magic click or easy button for that. That's the hard part with managing the people and the personnel. You have to change that mentality to leave the machines running through breaks or to leave the loader unattended for an hour while you try and go and manage something else. Turn the key off. Turn the machine off. Save yourself some fuel. I know there's lots of examples in your job site. The pickup trucks. Doesn't need to be heavy equipment. Why do they need to sit there and idle the whole time? Shut them off.
Got to keep my air conditioner going, Jim.
There you go. It's hot out. I know what you mean. You know what? That's a small price to pay. When you look at that into over a whole fleet, that's a lot of fuel. right? You look, that's one truck here, one truck there. It all adds up over the months, over the years. Shut them off. There's no reason to let it idle. The machines are smart enough in today's world. If they need to keep running to cool down, they will keep running. Fuel burn. Here's a good tip for you. When you're looking at your job site or reviewing your telematics, because we all look at the telematics data, we start talking about if you see a machine that has an extremely low or kind of jumps off the page with a low burn rate, maybe you should go look at the idle time. Because there's a good chance that idle time on that specific piece is a little bit higher than the rest, unless it's doing something entirely different. That's a good litmus test to work with. Okay, the last thing is we talk about fuel efficiency is configure the machines for efficiency, right? There's a couple toggles, a couple switches, a couple dials you could turn to save yourself and your operation some money. Talk about shift strategies and wheel loaders. Make sure you have the correct shift strategy engaged for your wheel loader. You know, do I always need to go down to first gear when I'm backing up? No. For what I'm doing, I can use second gear. Well, there's no need. That's going to burn extra fuel. Set it with the right shift strategy. Make sure you have the right tool on the front, whether that be the bucket, whether that be the GET is current and sharp. Remember, that's ground engaging tool or bucket teeth. The tires are properly inflated and you have the right tires on the machine. Eco modes. I know Brian has spoke about this previously when he did a podcast on fuel saving tips. We spent a fair bit of time talking about how the eco modes work very effectively in today's machines. Use them. They will save you money. These are great options. When you want to measure the fuel efficiency and you can get to that level with your operations and your sites, that's going to show how much you earn and where you can save some money. Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care.